So this is a part 2 on the what to do when you're mad video, using my own life circumstance and trying to speak from a position of relating a little bit, right? So you had an episode where maybe you're quite hot, and it is very expensive to the brain to be in that. It feels very energetic, and some people actually prefer being mad to depressed or something, right? But what happens? The brain kind of eventually just kind of burns out a little bit, and a lot of people end up feeling deflated, sad. I know, if I do a 5-point check, I can tell that my energy, even though I did the meditation, so again, not a magic bullet. This is, the expectations have to be, this is about growth. This is not about snapping your fingers and everything's all right, right? And so, I still feel kind of, an unease in my belly. And some people find that they may really want to eat. They want to kick on that rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system. Or if the sympathetic is still kind of there, you may not want to eat. And there may be, what that system does, basically you've detected some sort of threat, even if it's just like a threat to your well-being. And when you feel threatened, you put up the sympathetic hyperdrive. You need both to function properly. But when that's in hyperdrive, you're going to shut down anything that's unnecessary, to like digesting your food, just to get the heck out of there, right? You would either fight or fly, or freeze if that's appropriate. So your hypothalamus is like puts you in survival mode, and then you end up crashing. So this practice is about accepting that, again, can't snap your fingers and make everything okay, but also being aware, like noticing, like, oh, this is why I feel this way. This is, maybe I have to adapt my day a little bit to, process that, or, get around it a little bit to do what you need to do. So, again, you want to probably do things that are going to activate your parasympathetic system. So a three-part breath, if you can find a video on that, or some of the yoga, if you're really connect with doing something physical, I would highly recommend. But I think doing also a little mindfulness if you want to like check your interior landscape and see, like, how is it that you react to different things, and that'll give you more control, and also less judgment. If you have less judgment, then you have some space around it, and you don't constrict as much, which is just gonna, add sympathetic angst to your already sympathetically hyper-driven system. So, taking a few breaths. It don't have to be long. Really just taking short moments, maybe throughout a day, if you've had, an encounter. Just to put yourself at ease so that when you make decisions about what your next steps might be, you do them from a place of kind of level-headedness. reconnecting with the breath. If you notice you've gone astray a bit, it's totally fine. And again, you want to keep these sessions short. This is like a little bonus session to inspire kind of multiple short sessions are probably better in this in a situation if you had been riled up. I want to make one final note about if this anger was provoked by seeing, a loved one or a event in the news where you feel like your anger is about someone being treated poorly. It gets a little more tricky and hairy because you obviously want to have a sustained motivation if you can do something about it. But you may not make the problem any better if you're doing it from a place of anger. If it comes from a place of caring, which is what, turned into anger, sort of, and a little bit of calmness, that may introduce a better solution. So sometimes we also feel like we don't care enough about the person or the situation where somebody was, harmed. Let's say, you heard someone belittled or treated poorly that you care about, or, on the news, something tragic happened, and you feel like you have no right to feel good. And so that's another situation. It's complicated, and that comes really from the heart. And if you just wanted to feel calm and good and push that out of your mind, that is something that's sometimes called spiritual bypassing. You don't want to, that's prioritizing your own, happy mental state over those of others. And that's not what we're doing here. But if you don't take care of yourself, and if you don't, make sure that you can enjoy your day and the unique joys of moments, then, you're not necessarily holding on to that anger and bitterness on behalf of someone also isn't really going to help them or you. So you can say, hey, I want to make bring myself to a place of calmness and happiness so that I can then act from a place of love and rationality so that I can benefit the people or individuals that were harmed in a skillful way. So I just wanted to add that, just because that can happen too, especially when you hear things in the news like yesterday there was the school shooting, and those things can really bring up a lot of emotion. So to talk about that. Okay, well, connecting with the heart as we go. A little bit of gratitude for the world and taking time for yourself and your own, growth and journey. And see you later.